The first story.
In a serene village nestled beside a dense forest, life was peaceful and simple. The villagers worked hard during the day and rested under the starlit sky. A young boy was tasked with guarding his family's sheep near the forest. His father warned him, "This is a big responsibility. Always be alert and honest." At first, the boy enjoyed his new role. He felt proud and important, sitting under the shade of a tree and watching the sheep graze. As days passed, the boy grew bored. The quiet meadow, the sheep, and the endless waiting made him restless. He yearned for excitement. Seeking amusement, the boy ran to the village shouting, "A lion! A lion is attacking the sheep!" Alarmed, the villagers rushed to help. When the villagers arrived at the meadow, they found no lion, only the boy laughing. "It was just a joke," he said. The villagers left angry and frustrated. A few days later, the boy repeated his trick. "A lion! A lion is here!" he screamed. Once again, the villagers ran to the meadow only to be fooled. One evening, as the sun set and shadows grew longer, the boy noticed a rustling in the bushes. A massive lion stepped out, its golden eyes glowing fiercely. Terrified, the boy ran to the village, screaming help. "A lion is here," but the villagers, remembering his lies, ignored him. When the boy returned to the meadow, he found the lion had attacked the sheep and vanished into the forest. He sat on the ground, overcome with guilt and regret. The boy confessed to his father, who said, "Trust is precious and fragile. Once broken, it's hard to repair. Lies always have consequences." From that day forward, the boy vowed never to lie again. Though the villagers forgave him, he worked hard to regain their trust and proved himself honest and responsible. Moral of the story teaches us that trust is like a delicate thread. Once broken, it's hard to mend. Lies may seem harmless at first, but they can lead to serious consequences. Always speak the truth and value the trust others place in you.
The next story.
In a quiet village surrounded by vast fields, a poor farmer worked tirelessly from dawn to dusk. Despite his hard work, he could barely afford to feed his family. His clothes were torn, his hut crumbled, and his tools were old and broken. Yet he remained kind and hopeful, dreaming of a better life. One morning, as the farmer walked through the forest to gather wood, he heard a soft cry. Startled, he followed the sound and found a beautiful goose trapped in a thorny bush. Its feathers shimmered like gold, catching the sunlight. Moved by compassion, the farmer gently freed the goose from the thorns. To the farmer's astonishment, the goose spoke in a melodious voice, "Kind farmer, you have saved my life. I am no ordinary goose. To show my gratitude, I will lay a golden egg for you every day. But beware, do not let greed destroy this blessing." The farmer took the goose home and created a safe nest for it. The next morning, he was astonished to find a glittering golden egg in the nest. Unable to believe his luck, he took the egg to the market, where it fetched a fortune. Every day, the goose laid a golden egg. With time, the farmer repaired his home, bought new tools, and provided good food and clothes for his family. He also helped his neighbors and became respected in the village for his generosity. As the farmer grew wealthier, he began to wonder, if the goose lays one golden egg every day, there must be dozens of eggs inside it. If I take them all at once, I'll never have to work again. The thought of instant wealth consumed him. The farmer shared his thoughts with his family. Why wait for one egg a day when we can have them all now? His family, equally tempted by greed, supported the idea, ignoring the goose's warning. Unable to resist the temptation, the farmer decided to act. He sharpened his knife, convincing himself it was the right thing to do. This will be the start of a new life, he thought. The next morning, the farmer approached the goose. Despite its pleading cries, he killed it. To his horror, there were no golden eggs inside, only its lifeless body. He realized he had destroyed his greatest blessing. The farmer wept bitterly, realizing his greed had cost him everything. The village learned of his mistake, and he became a cautionary tale for others. The farmer spent the rest of his life humbly, sharing his story to teach others about the dangers of greed. The villagers often gathered to listen, and small children sat at his feet, eager to learn the valuable moral. His story became a cherished lesson passed down through generations. The story of the farmer and the golden goose reminds us that greed leads to loss. True happiness lies in patience, gratitude, and contentment with what we have. The children of the village learned that being thankful for small blessings can lead to a fulfilling life. The moral became a lesson for everyone, young and old, teaching them to value kindness and avoid greed.
The next story is The Two Goats. In a beautiful valley, a narrow wooden bridge stretched over a flowing river. This bridge, known for its fragility, tested the patience and wisdom of anyone who crossed it. On either side lived two proud goats, Arjun and Raman. One morning, Arjun set off to collect medicinal herbs for his sick mother. On the other side, Raman began his journey to gather food for his hungry family. Both had urgent tasks, but neither anticipated what awaited them. Arjun and Raman met at the center of the bridge. The bridge was too narrow for both to pass, and neither was willing to step back. Hidden under the bridge, a cunning fox named Chatura watched the goats argue. She saw an opportunity to exploit their pride and began gnawing at the ropes holding the bridge together. As the bridge swayed dangerously, the goats realized something was wrong. Looking down, they saw the fox gnawing at the ropes, threatening to bring them both down. Setting aside their pride, Arjun and Raman worked together. Arjun stomped his hooves loudly to scare the fox, while Raman leaned against the ropes to destabilize the bridge, making it difficult for Chatura to hold on. Startled by the sudden movements, Chatura lost her balance and fell into the river below. The goats stood strong, realizing that their cooperation had saved them both. Arjun and Raman crossed the bridge safely, side by side. Reflecting on the incident, they understood the folly of their pride and the power of working together. In the days that followed, the animals of the valley joined hands to rebuild the bridge. It became a symbol of unity and wisdom, teaching all that cooperation is the key to overcoming life's challenges. Moral of the story: pride divides, but cooperation conquers. When we stand united, even the greatest challenges can be overcome. The next story is The Clever Cat and the Foolish Mice. In a cozy, peaceful house, a sly cat and a clever mouse lived, though they were always at odds. The cat, tired of constantly failing in its pursuit, thought, "Maybe I should try something different. I'll trick the mouse into trusting me." And so, the cat came up with a plan. The next day, the cat approached the mouse's hideout and spoke softly. "Dear mouse, let's end this chase. I no longer wish to harm you. I promise to be your friend, to live in peace." The cat looked at the mouse with big, innocent eyes. The mouse, however, felt something was wrong and didn't trust the cat's sudden change of heart. The mouse thought carefully. "This could be a trick, but maybe I can turn the tables." The mouse decided to test the cat's sincerity. "If you really want to be my friend," the mouse said, "then you must help me get the cheese from the pantry." The shelf is too high for me to reach. With the cat agreeing to help, the two set off for the pantry. The mouse warned the cat, "Be careful. The floor is slippery. It's easy to fall." The cat, however, was so focused on the task ahead that it ignored the warning and rushed toward the pantry. As the cat leapt to reach the cheese, it slipped on the floor, losing its balance. The mouse had placed a slippery patch on the floor earlier, and now the cat found itself tumbling. At the same moment, a heavy jar fell from the shelf, trapping the cat inside. The cat struggled inside the jar, pushing against the walls, but it couldn't get free. "Let me out. This isn't fair. You can't trap me like this." The mouse approached, its eyes filled with disappointment. "This is what happens when you try to deceive others," it said. "You can't build trust with lies." The mouse slowly walked closer to the jar and said, "You wanted to be my friend, but you lied. You only wanted to trap me." The cat, now realizing its mistake, hung its head in shame. "I was wrong," the cat admitted. "I thought I could trick you, but I see now that honesty is far more important than deceit." The cat then spoke softly. "I'm sorry. I didn't understand until now. I promise to be honest and kind from now on." The mouse, after a moment of silence, decided to release the cat. "You have learned your lesson," the mouse said. "Just remember, honesty is always the best path." From that day on, the cat and the mouse lived together in harmony. The cat no longer tried to deceive or catch the mouse. They spent their days sharing food, stories, and laughter. The cat had learned that true friendship was built on trust and honesty, not lies and deception. And so, the once foes became true friends. The cat had learned that no amount of deceit could lead to lasting happiness. It was honesty, trust, and kindness that built the strongest relationships. From then on, the cat and the mouse lived together as friends forever. Moral of the story: honesty and sincerity build trust. Deceit only leads to trouble. The next story is The Thirsty Crow. On a hot summer day, the sun blazed mercilessly over the countryside. A thirsty crow flapped its wings tirelessly, flying over dry fields and empty ponds. His throat parched. The crow was desperate to find water to quench his thirst. Suddenly, the crow spotted something that filled him with hope: a clay pitcher sitting near a small house. He landed quickly and peered inside. But disappointment washed over him as he saw only a tiny bit of water at the bottom, far beyond his reach. The crow thought hard, refusing to give up. He noticed a pile of small pebbles nearby. "If I drop these pebbles into the pitcher, the water will rise," he thought. Just as he was about to begin, a friendly squirrel appeared. The squirrel asked, "What are you doing, Crow?" The crow explained his plan. The squirrel nodded and said, "That's clever. But let's work together. I can use my acorn shell to scoop water out and make it faster for you." The crow agreed, and they began their teamwork. That the crow and the squirrel worked together tirelessly. The crow picked up pebbles with his beak and dropped them into the pitcher, while the squirrel scooped water with his acorn shell and poured it into a hollow leaf. Slowly, the water level began to rise. At last, the water in the pitcher and the leaf was high enough for the crow to drink. Relieved, the crow dipped his beak into the water and drank deeply. He turned to the squirrel and said, Thank you, my friend. Together, we made this happen. The squirrel beamed with pride. As the crow flew away, feeling refreshed and proud, he and the squirrel had learned an important lesson. Teamwork and resourcefulness can overcome any challenge. The next story is The Tortoise and the Rabbit. In a lush green forest, there lived a fast and boastful rabbit. He always bragged about his speed to the other animals, saying, "No one can run as fast as me. I'm the fastest in the entire forest." One day, a tortoise slowly walked into the scene. Hearing the rabbit's claims, the tortoise said calmly, "Being fast doesn't make you the best. Consistency and determination are just as important." The rabbit laughed and said, "You? Competing with me? That's hilarious. Let's have a race, and I'll show you how ridiculous your words are." The tortoise replied, "I accept your challenge. Let's see who reaches the riverbank first." The forest animals decided to organize the race. They marked the starting point at a large oak tree and the finish line near the riverbank. Everyone was eager to see the outcome. As the race began, the rabbit bolted off like lightning, leaving a cloud of dust behind. The tortoise started walking slowly, step by step, with unwavering focus. After a short sprint, the rabbit looked back and saw the tortoise far behind. "This is too easy," he said to himself, slowing down to enjoy the scenery. The rabbit noticed a shady tree and thought, "Why not take a short nap? The tortoise is so slow, I'll wake up and still win easily." He lay down under the tree and quickly fell asleep. Meanwhile, the tortoise kept walking steadily. Step by step, he moved forward without stopping, his determination never wavering. The forest animals, impressed by the tortoise's persistence, began cheering him on. "Go, tortoise! You can do it!" they shouted. After a long nap, the rabbit woke up and stretched. He looked around and remembered the race. "Oh no, I slept for too long," he exclaimed. The rabbit jumped up and ran as fast as he could, hoping to catch up with the tortoise before it was too late. By now, the tortoise was very close to the finish line. The animals at the riverbank began cheering even louder. The rabbit saw the tortoise nearing the finish line and tried to run even faster. But it was too late. The tortoise crossed the finish line first, winning the race. The animals erupted in cheers, celebrating his victory. The rabbit hung his head in shame. "I was too confident and lazy. I underestimated you, tortoise," he admitted. The tortoise replied, "It's not about how fast you are, but how steady and focused you can be. Slow and steady wins the race." The forest animals nodded in agreement, realizing the value of persistence and humility. The rabbit apologized to the tortoise and promised never to underestimate anyone again. The animals celebrated the tortoise's victory with a small feast and cheerful chatter. And so, the tortoise taught everyone that slow and steady truly wins the race. A lesson remembered forever in the... The next story is The Lion and the Mouse. One sunny afternoon in a dense jungle, a mighty lion lay sleeping under a shady tree, his tail flicking lazily in the warm breeze. Nearby, a playful little mouse darted about, chasing a leaf without realizing how close it had come to the sleeping king of the jungle. Suddenly, the mouse accidentally ran over the lion's paw, waking him with a start. The lion roared fiercely and caught the tiny mouse under his massive paw. The mouse quivered with fear, but quickly spoke, pleading for his life and promising to repay the lion's kindness someday. The lion, amused by the thought of such a tiny creature helping him, decided to let the mouse go. A few days later, while wandering the jungle, the lion was caught in a hunter's trap. A sturdy net ensnared him, and no matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't break free. His loud roars echoed through the forest, calling for help. Hearing the lion's desperate roars, the mouse hurried to the scene. Seeing the lion trapped, the mouse said confidently, "Don't worry, mighty king, I will help you." With its sharp teeth, the mouse began gnawing at the ropes. Slowly but surely, the net loosened until the lion was free. The lion stood tall, shaking off the remnants of the net, and looked at the mouse with gratitude. "Thank you, little friend," he said. "I never thought someone so small could save me." The mouse smiled and replied, "Even the smallest can help the mightiest, Your Majesty. True friends always stand by each other." From that day on, the lion and the mouse became inseparable friends, admired by all the creatures of the jungle. And so, the lion and the mouse proved to the world that true friendship and kindness know no boundaries. No matter how big or small, every act of kindness matters, and every friend is invaluable. The next story is The Greedy Crow. Once upon a time, in a quiet little village, there was a clever but greedy crow. One day, as the crow flew over the village, it spotted something delicious, a big, soft piece of bread lying near a house. Delighted, the crow swooped down, picked up the bread with its beak, and flew to a tall tree to enjoy the treat. Highest branch of the tree. It looked around to ensure no one would disturb its meal and began to nibble on the bread. But below the tree, a cunning fox was wandering, looking for food. Suddenly, the fox noticed the crow with the bread. Its mouth watered and it thought, "I must have that bread. But how can I get it from that clever crow?" The fox sat under the tree and said, "Oh dear crow, you are the most beautiful bird in this forest. Your feathers are so shiny and your beak is so sharp. I've heard your voice is as sweet as a cuckoo's. Won't you sing a song for me?" The crow, pleased by the fox's words, thought, "I didn't know my voice was so sweet. Let me sing and show this fox how talented I am." Forgetting the bread in its beak, the crow opened its mouth to sing, and the bread fell to the ground. The fox grabbed the bread and ran away, laughing. "Oh, silly crow, you fell for my trick. The next time, don't let flattery fool you." The crow sat on the branch, feeling foolish and hungry. The crow learned an important lesson that day. Flattery can be a trap, and we must always stay alert and think wisely before reacting. The next story is The Clever Monkey and the Crocodile. Once upon a time, near the banks of the Krishna River, there was a large mango tree. A clever monkey lived on that tree, eating the sweet, juicy mangoes every day. One day, a crocodile swam to the bank and rested under the tree. The monkey noticed him and said, "You look tired, my friend. Would you like some mangoes to eat?" The crocodile gratefully agreed, and from that day on, they became friends. One day, the crocodile took some mangoes home for his wife. She loved the sweet fruit, but grew jealous of the monkey. The crocodile's wife said, "If the mangoes are so delicious, imagine how sweet the monkey's heart must be. Bring me the monkey's heart to eat." The crocodile, though shocked, couldn't refuse his wife's demand. The next day, the crocodile invited the monkey to visit his home, saying, "You've given me so many mangoes. Now it's my turn to treat you to a feast." The monkey happily agreed and climbed onto the crocodile's back. As they swam across the river, the crocodile revealed his wife's plan. The monkey was alarmed but remained calm. "Oh no," he said. "I left my heart on the mango tree. Take me back so I can fetch it." The crocodile believed him and turned around. As soon as they reached the shore, the monkey leapt back onto the tree. From above he said, "You foolish crocodile! How can anyone leave their heart behind? You betrayed my trust. I will never come down again." The crocodile felt ashamed and swam away, never to bother the monkey again. The clever monkey lived happily in the mango tree, enjoying his sweet fruit in peace. The next story is The Ant and the Grasshopper. Buzzed with life, the ant carried grains to her home, while the grasshopper played his lute, carefree, under the bright sun. As the ant moved tirelessly, storing food in her burrow for the cold days ahead, he strummed his lute, enjoying the warmth of the day. Winter is far away, he thought. "Why don't you prepare for winter?" asked the ant. "Winter? I have time," laughed the grasshopper. Our leaves turned golden and fell. The grasshopper noticed the days growing shorter and colder. And deep in her burrow, the ant organized her food stores, ready for the winter ahead. And the grasshopper shivered under a tree, realizing he had no food or shelter. Desperate, the grasshopper knocked on the ant's door. "Please, can you spare some food?" The ant sighed. "I worked hard for this, but I'll share if you promise to learn the value of preparation." The grasshopper promised, "Next summer, I'll prepare and use my music to help others too." In spring, the ant and grasshopper worked together, teaching others to balance work and play. Hard work and preparation lead to success, but sharing talents and helping others makes life meaningful. Please like, share, and subscribe.